Hey everyone, good afternoon. Welcome. If you are now popping on for this segment, welcome. If you have been here for the entire conference, please drop a comment in the chat. Let us know you've been here and that you have been enjoying. And if you are ready to get into this segment, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go into that chat, drop an emoji, drop a yes, drop a woohoo, drop something in that chat so that we know that you are ready for this segment, because I am ready. I am so happy for this opportunity to share with you about how you can take your business to the next level. Guys, listen to this. I'm super passionate about this. This is my life's work. I have built a global business helping entrepreneurs in the Caribbean and in the Caribbean diaspora to refine their business model so that they can pay themselves more, scale up their business, and live their ideal life design. So I am truly enthused about this opportunity to share with you. Now, I'm going to be looking on in the chat, responding to your questions, paying attention to your comments. I am there with you. So here's what I need you to do. Just before we get started, I would love to know who I'm speaking to in the audience. So if you are already in business, you already have a business that you are running and operating, I want you to drop a Y, the letter Y as in yes, in the chat. If you are that person you're in business already, you have been operating your business, you are looking forward to further opportunities to grow your business, drop a Y in the chat. Yes, we're there. If you are thinking about going into business, if you are thinking about going into business, you are thinking about how to monetize your skills, your tech skills, your entrepreneurial ideas, then I want you to drop a T as in table, in the chat. I want to know who we're speaking to this afternoon so that the content can be delivered in a way that works for you. Okay? I am really happy to be here. My name is Dana Hayes Burke. I'm also known as the Vision Builder. And today's segment is all about how you can scale up your business. And just to give you an idea of how this presentation is going to go, it's partly lecture style, partly question and answer. So, take your notes, but also get into that chat, ask your questions, make your comments, because it's the best way for me to be in that chat with you and help you to truly get some answers, some solutions, some context for what is being shared with you today. So we're ready to go, guys. We are super ready to go. And today I'm talking to you about the 4 strategic keys you need to scale up your business. And I'm so thrilled that I'm speaking to women from the Caribbean or the Caribbean diaspora who are thinking about how to take their businesses to the next level. And I'm enthused about this because I am truly passionate about Caribbean excellence. And I do believe that we have the competence, the capabilities to be able to not only build businesses that impact our region, but also to build businesses that can impact our globe. So let's get into it. The first thing that I want to address is what does scaling up actually means. It is one of those terms that we hear very regularly, but sometimes, there are terms that are out there and you're like, I know what it means, but I don't quite know what it means. Or I know what it means, but I don't quite understand it in the context of my business. So let me share with you what I think is an easy definition for you to absorb of the term scale up as it relates to your business. Scaling up is the ability to increase the income in your business at a faster rate than your costs to create that income are increasing. So you are able to generate a higher level of income from a lower level of expenditure. And that's what we all want, right? Because if we're able to increase our income, and reduce or keep our costs at the same level, then you find that you have a greater growth. You have a greater level of growth in your business. So we are talking about scaling up. But why is this idea of scaling up important to you? Like, why should you care? In plain layman's language, why should you care? Because there is this main idea that I want you to hold on to as we go into this segment. It's an idea that I want you to absorb in your mind, whether you are in business already or whether you are thinking about going into business. And the idea is simply this, that your business should give you the ability to pay yourself well and to live your ideal life design. I'm going to say that again for those in the back of the room who didn't quite hear me. The business that you've started, your business should give you the ability to pay yourself well now, today, as well as to live your ideal life design. Now, the truth is, many of us as entrepreneurs, you go into business with an idea, a thought about how this business is intended to serve you, is intended to serve your community. And many times in the journey of building your business, it doesn't quite translate like that. So if you are in that stage, this presentation is going to help you. If you are at the stage where you are growing, you have some profitability, this presentation will also help you. And if you are at the stage where you are now about to start your business, guess what? This presentation will also help you. So now you're probably wondering, why should I listen to this chick? How is she actually going to help me, and why should I listen to her information? Well, I told you my name, I told you the handle I go by, and you may have heard my bio. But let me explain to you who I am. I'm a vision strategist. And what that simply means is that I'm able to help you refine your vision and create a strategy to accomplish it. I'm also a business coach. So the goal is to use your business as a tool to accomplish that vision. Me, Dana Hayes Burke, I am the CEO of an international coaching and consultancy firm. My clients span the Caribbean region, the US and the UK. I have been able to build six-figure businesses already since going full-time into my entrepreneurial journey. I am known for speaking and teaching on topics like this because I'm also an international conference speaker. And I'm an author of entrepreneurial resources and the host of my own TV show. And in all of these spaces, if you were to search me, you guess what you're going to find? That this is what I speak about. I speak about all things vision, business strategy, and leadership. And that has allowed me to be featured in a few spaces and places. You're seeing those logos there. But more than that, all that I've been doing, where I have been positioning myself, how I have been building my business is all with a goal to equip you, to educate you, and to empower you so that you can build your strong, profitable business. So that is why I am here today, because we have some amazing women in tech. We have some amazing women who are building amazing careers and are looking for their next level of legacy and growth. And it can very well be through your business. So again, for those of you who may be joining in late, today, this segment, this topic is all about 4 strategic keys to scale up your business. And we're going into it right away. You may want to take a screenshot of this. You may want to write this down. The 4 strategic keys are these. It's concept, creation, concreteness, and communication. I'm repeating it again. It's concept, creation, concreteness, and communication. And please have no fear. I'm going to go in detail about each of these and how your understanding, your knowledge of these concepts and these keys will help you to now get into that space where you are able to increase your income in your business without having to significantly increase your costs to create that income. Okay? Are you all with me? So let's get into it. The first thought is concept. Concept. What is concept all about? And where does this idea come from? When it comes to your business, to scaling up your business, you have to move to that space of beyond the product. You have to move to the space of beyond the product. That's a very important conversation. Because a lot of the times when you get into business with an idea of a particular problem that you can solve with a particular product or service. And that's a fabulous starting place for any business. But the truth is, if you have to grow your business to its other level, if you have to scale your business into a new space, then you have to get beyond that initial product or service, that initial ability to build websites, or that initial thing that you put out there about being able to build apps, or that initial thing about digital marketing, or that initial thing about e-commerce. You got to get beyond that, because it's in the beyond that spaces where you actually are able to find the foundations of a business that lasts for a very long time, regardless of the demand for a specific product. And I'm going to share a little bit more about that so you understand the context of the concept that I'm giving to you, right? So if you look at this, how do you define this concept? How do you tap into this concept? Essentially, concept in your business is found in the intersection of your personal vision and the needs of your target market or your niche. The concept that we are talking about is understanding your business positioning. So here's what happens with most business owners. Most business owners, as I said, you start with an idea, you start with a problem you want to solve. You really do just see an income opportunity. And you start building on this income opportunity and really start chasing that dollar. And eventually what happens is that you build a business that does not make you feel good and does not feel like what you thought having a business should be like, that personal vision. If you ever look at those large firms that were able to scale up, a big part of that scaling up journey is personal vision. What do you want to accomplish in your own life, and how does this business help you to do that? What do you want in your own life, and how does this business help you to do that? This is a very important question. And for many persons, every time I speak about this, it almost seems very counterintuitive that in scaling up my business, I start with my personal vision for my life. And let me share with you why this is so important. It's important because it helps you to avoid a mistake that many make in business: building a business that you don't like. It helps you to avoid building a business that you don't like. So what do you want to accomplish? How do you want to live as a business owner in your personal life? Because then you're able to design your business in such a way that it supports that. Then you look at who is your target market and what are their actual needs. Now, ladies, and perhaps there may be some gents in the audience, what are their actual needs? I've seen this mistake where the niching gets down to, I want to serve professional women between the age of 35 and 45. Or I want to, my product or my service is for teenagers in this category or entrepreneurs in this category. That's generally the discussion, right? Here's the thing. You need to go beyond just that demographic breakdown and now think about what is the need that they have, because the need itself is what's going to help you with your positioning. Okay, so how do we think about it? Positioning now becomes, what is this company doing? How is this company designed that it helps me to achieve my personal vision? But also, how does it occupy space in the minds of my niche? How does it occupy space in the mind of my target audience? You see, positioning is the starting point of your scale-up journey of your business. Positioning is that startup journey. Can I ask you a question? And I'm going to stop right here and pause for a moment and ask you a question. Do you know the words, or do you presently own any words in the minds of your ideal clients? And what do I mean by own? In my ideal client's mind, when they hear vision, they think vision builder. I own that word. It is just the reality. Okay? That word has a certain connection for my audience. When they hear make more money in their business and pay themselves now, that is a term that brings them to me. What are the words that you own in the minds of your ideal client? That's vitally important, because guess what? You don't want to scale up the wrong thing. A mistake that I've seen a lot of people do is that they scale up on the basis of the type of product that I provide. So for instance, I provide coaching, I provide training, and I provide consultancy. But all of those things and services that I provide, right, actually solve a specific need. It's not my positioning. So that if at any point in time, I no longer want to provide those things and I find a different way to serve the need, I never lose my audience. So it's the same thing with you. How do you retain your audience? So you need to understand that a good positioning space for your business is understanding the experience that your customers want to have and occupying that space. Now, if you think that I am kidding, I pulled up some known companies, and I'm going to share this. I pulled up some known companies who we know them for a product, but if you think about it, their positioning is not necessarily the product. So let's start with Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's products inspire happiness and make a positive difference in customers' lives. Have you all ever wondered when you go to the movie theater, and I'm using that as a reference in the Caribbean, you go to the movie theater, Coca-Cola ads are running, and everybody is happy and bouncing. It's this like millennial Gen Z generation that's just happy and bouncy and having a great time. And you ever wonder, what does one have to do with the other? Because the positioning isn't the Coke itself, isn't the soda itself. The positioning is the feeling and the happiness and, you know, the free, liberating feeling that people have and with their beverage. That's the positioning. Amazon, similarly, many people would say, well, Amazon positioning is that it's an e-commerce space. But its positioning is not that. The truth is, Amazon's positioning is having a lot of options and fast delivery, aka Prime. Do you realize that what they optimized the most wasn't necessary? They did optimize their ability to attract vendors, but they also ensure that they optimize delivery and give you the option to accelerate your delivery with an add-on service as Prime. How many of you, drop in the chat, how many of you have Amazon Prime? I raise my hand. And why do we have Amazon Prime? Because we want to get it quicker. Notwithstanding, if you are actually in the Caribbean, you know, we have other things to deal with, like it passing through customs and everything else. But the whole point is we wanted to get to our skyboxes, our addresses more quickly. Slack is another popular platform. What is Slack's positioning? Slack's positioning, yes, it's a collaboration hub, but that can change into any version that's appropriate. But its positioning is to bring the right people, information, and tools together so you could get your work done. Now, how they do this may change, but what they do remains the same. That is the power of positioning. So before you can think about scaling up your business, you need to be more than a product. So you need to solidify your positioning. Are you all with me? Is this getting your wheels turning? Do you have any questions? Please drop it in the chat. So now that you have your positioning clear, now we can speak about scaling up. Now we can talk about what are we taking to the next level? Because a word of caution, and I mentioned it, I alluded to it before. When it comes to scaling up, the worst thing that you can do is scale up the wrong thing. The worst thing that you can do is try to accelerate growth on the wrong thing, on the wrong positioning. Because here's what's going to happen. You will get that growth, right? You will experience that growth, but that growth will also flame out. It will not have lasting power. So we're talking to people in the tech industry, and presently you may be monetizing your skills to a certain level. You may be providing certain relevant services. But I want to ask you this. If the specific thing that you are providing is no longer relevant, then how is your positioning in such a way that you're still able to pivot and keep serving your ideal client? So the next step is, once you have your positioning, you can start creating. Now you can start creating what the market needs to serve that positioning or to serve that problem. Right? And so even if you are now starting off, and I've just spoken about, getting out of that space of like that gig mentality or just that solo entrepreneur space and start thinking about your positioning. Creation now has to do with, now that I know what people are looking for and I'm going to become a name for them, what is the strategy that I'm going to apply? What is the strategy that I'm going to apply? So this is where we now get into what you create. And again, I can talk about creating a particular product only, but that I'm here for the bigger picture. Because you know what? You all are experts in what you do, but I'm an expert in building businesses. So I'm going to help you to figure out how to create a business that's really is going to give you longevity and growth. So you want to create the right brand promises. So once you figured out the positioning, now you want to make commitments to your customers and have these commitments clear, that they would know what it is that you are going to deliver to them. So your brand promises are, what am I delivering to them? We spoke about Amazon. Amazon's brand promise is that they deliver a wide range and they deliver it quickly. You got all the options to choose from and you get it quickly. So I want to ask you, in your business, what are the core promises that persons know about you? Because this is what's going to give you staying power, right? So the core promises that people are going to get from me is that I'm going to refine their business model. They're going to pay themselves and they're going to be growing their business. That's like guaranteed once you work with Dana. So what are your brand promises? You have to start creating narratives, creating these brand promises and delivering on them. So which is the next point of creation, delivery. Delivery has to do with your business model. How are you going to deliver the brand promises? Because how you deliver it is what solidifies your positioning, right? So how are you delivering it? Your business model are the different ways that you serve your audience, you serve your clients, and deliver your brand promises. So what does that look like for you? So suppose you were an app developer. Let's get into some examples. Suppose you're an app developer. Well, first of all, you don't want to just be an app developer. You have to fix that positioning. An app developer for whom? To help them do what? Who is the specific person that you are developing the app for? What are your promises to them? And how do you deliver on those promises? Those are the 3 questions. So before you even think about scaling up and adding more people to your team, because guys, when you add people to your team, these are things they also need to know. So I really want you to think about this in the terms of your own business. Because I want us to remember again what the main idea is. Your business should give you the ability to pay yourself and to live your ideal life design. So you have to create a model that allows you to pay yourself, because now you have customers and now you have delivery methods and you have a model that allows you to now live the way that you want to live. So we've dealt with concept, first key, creation, second key. Next key is what I call concreteness. The next step is what I call concreteness. And there are 3 levels that I need you to get together. These are the systems that operate and run in your business. You know, the biggest issue, one of the biggest issues that many face is that the excellence and the process of how you create in your business has no standardization. So you cannot scale what is not standardized on some level. You have no consistency in delivering what you say is your brand promise because there is nothing in place for it. Now, I know I'm talking to the tech folks, so you may have a lot of things that you could put in place, right, for this. And I do love that, right? But you also have to be clear about which of these things are the value adders. Which of these things are the value adders? So the first thing with your concreteness is you got to get this pricing right. Listen, I just went really fast. I spoke really quickly there. So let's slow it down. The first thing that you need to do is get your pricing right. You don't want to scale up bad pricing. And I know that we all learned about low cost strategy and all of these things for entering the market. I hear you. I've studied business. I am a published academic. Business is a thing that I study. But here's the thing, there is a disconnect at times between the academic side of it and the practical application of it. But the long story short is whatever you decide is your market entry strategy with your pricing must always produce profit. Your pricing must be able to allow you to pay yourself, to pay your bills, and to have a profit that can be growing. Because here's the thing, right? Scaling or growth, any growth thing, you know, people wouldn't tell you this, but any area of growth, any area of growing your business is a very costly undertaking, and you need to have cash. You need to have some cash reserves in case you make a misstep in the journey, in case you accelerate the wrong thing. Because this is a guide, but you still have to go through the practical side of it. You can't have a cash buffer if you have bad pricing. You also need to have a process for how you deliver on your brand promises. I know it's in your head. I know you have a system, but you need a process that you can easily duplicate. And duplication happens when you are able to bring somebody in to do it as well. I've seen so many people bring in persons into their business, but they have no process to give them. You know, we bring in assistants and, you know, we bring in marketers and we bring in, and that those things are important, but there's no process for them to follow. And concreteness has to do with your priorities. Now, when it comes to priorities, I want to put it to you this way. Priorities are the things that actually add value to your customer and not the things that you think add value. I want to make sure you're seeing my face clearly. Priorities have to do with the things that are of most importance to your ideal client and not necessarily the things that you think are important. And what that means is some of you in business, in order to make the sale, in order to get the business going, you know, you throw everything on the kitchen sink into your offers and people still don't buy. And you ever wondered why that is? Because what you have offered is not a priority for them. And many times you would find out that where the priorities lie doesn't require all of the things that you just said. So start to recognize the priorities in your process and the priorities in your business and give attention to that. And when you know what your priority area is, then that's when you bring in the people to make it happen. Once you are clear on your process and your priorities, now you can bring in people, because I'll be honest, as someone who is scaling up herself, the truth is you can't do it all alone. The increase in income means increased demand, right? So increased demand means that you need to find ways to duplicate yourself. And sometimes you can duplicate yourself with programs, with systems, but there are times when you need to duplicate yourself with people. But the only way that the duplication works well is if the duplication is done with a clear process. So we have covered concepts, we have covered creation, we have covered concreteness, and now we're going to cover communication. And when it comes to scaling up, many of us focus mainly on, let's get more visibility, let's get more marketing. And you know what? You start to market the wrong thing because you're not clear on your positioning. But when you get clear on your positioning, then your messaging gets right. What you talk about gets right. And that messaging aligns opportunity, and opportunities will open the doors for your growth. Your messaging will bring opportunities, and those opportunities will open the doors for your growth. A lot of the times when we think about scaling up, we start dealing with the marketing first, but there is opportunity and there is a process. And you really don't want to be known for the wrong thing. So your marketing, your communication should lead to conversations that attract clients and conversations that retain clients. And once you have everything else in place, you're building on the right foundation, you are creating the right value systems and product offerings and right model. You have your systems in place, and your marketing, once the marketing goes out there, you are ready to start taking advantage of the income opportunities that are coming your way, and you are efficient enough to control the costs. So this is what it looks like, these 4 keys working together to give you a business model that increases your income, allows you to scale, and allows you to have that staying power. Are you all with me? So now, even when I was preparing this presentation, I was like, Data, this is a lot of information. So everybody's going to be wondering, this is really good, but I'm now confused. Where do I start? How do I start this journey of scaling up? I get what you're saying. Everything makes a lot of sense, Dina. But where do I start? This is your takeaway. We started with the main idea. Now I want to give you your actionable step as you leave here. As you leave this session, and as you walk away with an arsenal of information that you are now trying to assimilate into your life and into your process and into what you're doing. I want you to go away and I want you to do some research. Yeah. And you know what? Truthfully, if I was with a different audience, I would say, people are going to be like, research, why? But guess what? I'm with tech persons. Y'all know how to get data. So I want you to go and get some research done. Refine who you would like to serve and refine your niche and start asking some questions of their needs. Start asking some questions about their challenges. Look for the commonalities that exist in all that they have shared with you. Because this information now is going to be the starting point for how you are going to be able to turn your business, to turn your product, to turn who you serve, and to turn your business into more than more than just a product, more than just a service. This is information that's going to help you to position your business in the place of a need and not simply a want. And that is what's going to help you to truly start to access new levels of growth, new levels of income, and new ways to build that business model that doesn't burn you out, but helps you to live your ideal life design. Because the main idea of all of this scaling talk and all of this good stuff is that your business should give you the ability to pay yourself and to live your ideal life design. Come on, somebody, if you agree with me on this statement, this is the context that I want you to hold on to as you think about and you process the information shared with you today, that your business should give you the ability to pay yourself and to pay yourself well and live your ideal life design. If you agree with me, drop an emoji, a 1 in the comments if you agree with me. So this brings me to the end of the presentation, having shared with you the 4 keys. Having shared with you, now that you know what the keys are, this is where you start. Start with the research and understand that this is a priority item because it's giving you information so that your business becomes more than a product, more than a service. It finally lands in the place of the needs, and that you can now build a business that helps you to pay yourself more and to live your ideal life design. So at this point, if you have any questions or any feedback on what was shared with you, please get into the chat, ask your questions. I am there to answer. There is space for Q&A. So please allow yourself the opportunity to ask questions. And I also invite you to visit my social media platforms, connect with me there as well. On LinkedIn as Dana Hayes Burke, the Vision Builder, on Instagram as a Vision Builder Co, or you can visit my website where you will find information about how you can speak with me one-on-one. So I'm going to be looking out for these questions. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for engaging. Thank you so much for being a dynamic audience. And as you go forth to build your strong and profitable business, please hold on to these notes. Keep them at the forefront of your mind, because if you see the vision and you believe the vision, I guarantee you that you will be able to build the vision. Have a great one, guys. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you again.